nice to see everyone. My name is Pearly. I lead investments at HTC. I've been working alongside the co-founder and chairwoman of the company for about 10 years now. She had inspired me to join technology from my prior life of a banker's life because as an often rare breed of an Asian woman in a high-stake environment, she really inspired me to think about why we wake up every morning. What is the role of technology in society? Hence, today I want to focus on exploring some of these areas that continue to inspire me today as a mother of 3 now, over 10 years at HTC, 3 HTC babies, oh my goodness. How we need to always come back to the center and think about this question. We're not a solution looking for a problem. We're aiming to build this more hopeful, better version of the future we want to see for our children. And that is entirely the responsibility in our hands. So, humanity, technology, imagination. That's the 3 pillars of the VIVE brand. VIVE means life, right? It's not about what technology, cutting-edge technology, even though we've been pioneering at the forefront of mobile technology, of now we're looking at 5G, AI, XR technologies. All of the cutting-edge technologies don't matter if we don't put humanity at the center and think about who we're serving, what impact we're bringing to our users and for our future generations. And specific to XR technologies, we know that it has a very special power of unleashing human imagination from the limitations of physical reality. And that's why, if we call it the Metaverse, or we used to call it the XR, or VR, or AR, or MR, whatever reality it is, the aim at the end of the day is how we make our real life connections and lives better. All the technology pillars can fade into the background and really let our humanity come to forefront. How do we make sure that this future can be experienced by more people? XR devices are our first step because it provides the most immersive version of that experience. But we believe that it needs to be cross devices as well. Whichever devices we have today, people of different socioeconomic background they have today, whether that's a mobile phone or it's a PC or it's a laptop, different screens, they should be able to see the magic of what 3D, real-world, connected virtual environments and its associated technologies can unleash in our everyday life. And that's really the pillar of why we build VIVERSE. It's our imagination of what an open, exciting, human-first metaverse would look like. I don't have the sound here, but it's really important that we focus on the openness. That's the only way we see, right, the value of the network is proportionate to the square of the number of nodes in that network. So if we don't ensure as an industry at this early stage of building that we make sure the protocols are open, we allow more people to join and to prevent any walled gardens from existing, then we will have a hard time altogether in ensuring that people have the best experience, having easier time traversing between different worlds built by different people. This ought to be the metaverse built by the people, for the people, unleashing everyone's imagination. And with the advent of generative AI, which we'll touch a little bit upon later, this truly will be a fascinating new world that I'm personally very excited to see for my children. So that the creator side of things, that social connection side of things, and there are a lot of new possibilities across use cases that we'll explore a little later today that ought to be open, easy to access, built on OpenXR, enabled by WebXR, open protocols for avatar technologies like VRM and others. So the more open we go, the more likely that we'll make this a fantastic experience for everybody. So we talk about that. So openness also ensures more interoperability. That's a path that we need to make sure we don't deviate from. And that's also why when we think about the trust in our internet today, as we look into this future, we want to make sure that data safety, security is top of mind. So we want to steer clear of any commercial monetization model that may compromise us from that ideal. That's really important. So in building what this collection of the future of amazing experiences look like, in the past 7 years now, since we first started shipping our VIVE devices, we've been doing a lot of work around the world in different verticals in building partnerships and ecosystems to make sure that we're using the technology in the right way to inspire those use cases. One great example is VIVE Arts. That's a program that we've collaborated with top cultural institutions around the world, like the Louvre, the Natural History Museum, the V&A, the Tate Modern Museum, the Art Basel, the Venice Biennale. All around the world, I think we have collaborated more than 50 institutions now in the past few years, making sure that we use immersive technology to help society preserve and appreciate the arts in brand new ways. In Paris, in this exhibition of the Leonardo da Vinci, as an example, my daughter, at 4-year-old at that time, was able to meet the geniuses of Leonardo da Vinci, meet La Gioconda, in a way that was not available to me when I was a young girl. And she absolutely has a brand new understanding, a visceral experience with what it means to be the Renaissance man and all the many beautiful creations of Leonardo da Vinci. To this day, we still talk about Leonardo da Vinci and his infinitely curious personality and journey in life. And I feel that this is the kind of magic that I want to continue to bring to our children, and really they will grow up to thrive with a lot of these convictions that they gain in technologies that we did not grow up with. And that's truly, truly exciting. Here we're in Miami. Art Basel is still going on. We also have Triennale and Milano going on for a few more weeks. That is where we have partnered with them to exhibit this experience to celebrate 100 years of their history, exhibiting a lot of incredible artists and exhibitions that exist in the past 100 years, many of which it does no longer exist because they were contemporary at that time. But virtual reality has this magic of making the past come to life, helping preserve history, experiences, make them come to light in a way that is not otherwise possible. And that is just one more example. And VIVE Arts as a platform is also evolving to make sure that we help contemporary artists and cultural institutions to get into Web3. NFT as a utility is an important technology to help artists monetize, even in the resale of such art projects. And we had inaugurally launched this NFT platform, work with the Mucha Foundation to launch a collection of the timeless Mucha NFTs. And currently, we're working with the Icelandic artist Christiana Williams to launch her first collection of beautiful NFT interactive art, which is dropping in 36 hours, I believe. So to find out more about that, you can go to vivearts.com. But the idea really is that there are so many things happening in our realm of technologies that people on the outside sometimes struggle to find relevance. Why is there a reason to care? Why isn't all this gimmicky stuff just something that will fade away from the hype? But if we can always come back to ask that question of how these technologies is relevant in creativity, in inspiring our next generations, in preserving of the arts, then we find that reason to be excited every day. So next is education. A lot of the above has already touched upon the elements of that, but kinesthetic learning, learning with all of your body senses, learning through experiences is something that is absolutely game-changing. So whether that is learning about frog anatomy or simulating a volcanic eruption, or putting chemistry labs around classrooms in a more rural area, there's endless applications that help us learn with more conviction. There are also startups like Prism's VR that is deploying virtual reality across classrooms in America, benefiting tens of thousands of students in public school systems already today. And think about how math used to be a very abstract and irrelevant subject or uninteresting for many young kids growing up. Now, if we can put them through a lived experience, giving them conviction that they can also be problem solvers and contribute to society with the new skills that they have learned and apply immediately, that changes the game entirely. And I'm very encouraged to see more entrepreneurs and founders really building at the forefront of not just ensuring that this concept is proven, but also in deployment on the ground in the schools, that teachers are successful in making sure that this technology is introduced at the critical time of understanding and really enhancing that conviction of learning. This is another example of one of our portfolio companies. We make very many direct investments in startups around the world. This one specifically is called Emissive. They create immersive expeditions that are a very long-form format of 45 minutes. 50 to 100 people can go through them at the same time. This one particularly, I, again, attended with my daughters. We have never been to real-life Egypt just yet, but in their books we have. Because we went through the Great Pyramids of the Khufu, we went down to the corridors and climbed into the Queen's Chambers and areas that we would have never been able to access in real life anyway. And we learned all about the ancient Egyptian life. We learned about mummification. We had an incredible view of the area, as well as sailing down the Nile under the incredible blue moon. And in their books and in my memory, we have done that together. The things that we've learned and experienced together is not replaced by a video or National Geographic documentary about the pyramids. So the promise in using some of these technologies to introduce experiences that are sometimes hard to access in real life or otherwise for most people, like the overview effect experienced by astronauts and others, is, I think, really, really encouraging. I was hoping to show the Notre Dame, where I was in Paris for last year, where, of course, the Notre Dame is still under the renovation project after the fire, but we were able to walk through the Notre Dame and learn all about the history, travel back in time to 800 years, and really, these experiences seem difficult to replicate, but with a lot of different creator tools and platforms and tools being built, it's going to be a lot more easy for creators and brands and businesses around the world to build these experiences for people to benefit from. This is again, so I don't know, the Notre Dame experience did not show. But what about in simulation and medical education? This is, again, another portfolio companies of ours that uses deep learning assisted technology to offer a authoring tool to build medical simulations in a hyper-realistic way. So medical students and doctors and their colleagues can come together in a virtual environment and train in a realistic way. And studies have consistently shown that surgeons trained in VR make 6 times fewer errors. Don't we want all of our doctors to have an opportunity to train over and over again before operating on us? This use case is proven to deliver 400% increase in skill retention, according to the studies done here in Miami Children's Health. And it has been shown by Nature as well that in 90% of the clinical trials, XR therapies help reduce 90%, help reduce costs as well, which on the therapy side we'll also look at later. So, of course, this week, actually just a few days ago at ESAC, our partner Flame system has used real-world apparatus that the firefighters would need and bring them into the virtual training environment with a heat vest that can go up to 195 Fahrenheit with the real-life fire nozzle, so they can train in first responders situations, and this is used in Department of Defense and many other law enforcement. So virtual reality training in combining sensory tracking and these are high risk but low frequency scenarios that are otherwise incredibly difficult to deliver. But in virtual reality, there is no such limits, and really the sky is the limit. We can deliver much better results. What about on the soft skills side of things? According to a study collated by McKinsey and the World Economic Forum, as high as 87% of employees today lack the cognitive, interpersonal, and leadership skills for the future of the labor market. In virtual reality, via virtual humans, you can practice difficult conversations. You can harness leadership skills, build empathy in a way that is safe and repeatable. 4 times faster to train in the classroom. I believe you've seen some of these data shared by Jason earlier. 275% more confident to act after the training, and 4 times more emotionally connected to the content, and 4 times more focused. It's just a win-win-win-win scenario to use virtual reality for helping your employees learn, for helping our students learn in so many ways. And the skill fade as well, huge reduction. And here in the middle, you see the Seminole Hard Rock Cafe, which is just 30 minutes up north from here that I drove by this morning. They had to go through a $1.5 billion expansion project, and they were able to use virtual reality to finalize 90% of the design, visualization, and finalization process, saving millions and millions of dollars and lots of time in between. They were able to look at each room, look behind the headboard, look into the color of the soap in the bathroom, and even make sure that the view on the pool area is fantastic and spectacular from every single angle. So it's well understood, the simulation, digital twin, you've heard a lot today about already, how this will save time and cost today for businesses in a very significant way. You also heard about Bell helicopter. Usually the process of designing a helicopter, bringing it to market, is 5 to 7 years. They were able to design this particular model with just 6 months' time, designed entirely in virtual reality without using any physical materials in finalizing the design. And of course, they are also now, with these natural interfaces and deep learning assisted tools, more people can now jump into the act of creation, of 3D asset modeling, creation, animation, prototyping, ideation, and collaboration in a way that is not possible before. So that's also really exciting. You heard a little bit about generative AI earlier today. ChatGPT by OpenAI only dropped 5 days ago on Wednesday. Today already surpassed 1 million active users. If you haven't already, please start checking it out. You can use it as your search engine. You can ask it to write a poem about the metaverse, write a song, teach you how to make prompts into your DALL-E and Midjourney generative AI engines. You can even ask it to audit your smart contract code base. There's many different ways and use cases that people are now coming to understand. It's developing at a breakneck speed. In Madeira, when I was talking about generative AI, I showed this image that was created by Midjourney that won an art prize. Since then, it's only been 2 or 3 months, and the progress in this area is absolutely mind-blowing. Google also introduced a new project that can turn still images into 3D high resolution fly-through, render real-time in high fidelity. And NVIDIA, as well as there are many new projects and AI projects emerging where you can literally use text to prompt not just creation of 2D images, but 3D models that are ready to use in your game engine. So what this generative AI really means and how it crosses over to our world of XR immersive interfaces will be really fascinating. More people will be able to create in a way that was simply not possible before, with very high creative and technical barriers. They will all go away. And this is what I'm telling my kids, is what we're really having to learn now is critical thinking, is collaboration with each other, but also with machines, and compassion, so we can collaborate in a very human-centric way. And then virtual production for everyone. There are so many content creation in today's day and age, right? It used to be a difficult and expensive production only reserved for large budget studios. But we wanted to use the technology that we've learned and built in this many years in the product called VIVE Mars Camtrack that uses real-time virtual cameras to help indie creators to do real-time compositing of virtual production. And that product has been really exciting, getting us a lot of great feedback. In fact, I believe one of the exhibitors here is using VIVE Camtrack. But Mars Chem Track. The point here being, how do we make sure that a lot of the things we build here empower people to create more? And so when we can pull all that creative energy together, I'm hopeful that we will continue to find new ways to inspire the adoption in a very positive way to society. This is another platform to the same thesis called B-Day that we built for music performances, live performances, that we can hold hologram concerts in fantastic worlds that you can access via not just XR headsets, but also your phone and laptops. In fact, these concerts are going on still today. You can go to beatday.com, you can download it on your devices, you can join the concerts with your friends. New ways of storytelling, performance, and more new ways for people, not necessarily with the top budget, to create experiences for people to come together, experience, and benefit from. In the healthcare and wellness space, right, one of the areas that I'm personally very interested in, patients are using virtual reality to do different therapies, whether that is physical therapies, stroke recovery, or it's pain management programs. Another company we invested in called Karuna VR, they use a combination of VR therapy to rewire the brain on pain signals. And they combine that with the cognitive behavioral therapy over 12 weeks time. 67%, 2 out of every patient are pain-free or nearly pain-free at the end of that treatment. And this is compared to the 20% placebo and 10% usual treatment in the randomized clinical control trial. So virtual reality, there are so many different literature and studies and research and RCTs out there in comparing virtual reality, in making sure, but in studying the virtual reality's impact on the healthcare delivery space. And that's really exciting and delivering value to people today. This is another use case in another company we invest in called XR Health. They conducted this randomized controlled clinical trial with the Harvard Medical School in using VR in place of sedatives during live hand surgery, most commonly for carpal tunnel syndrome. So in the control group for VR, only 25% of the patients require any amount of sedatives. And for those 25%, they actually require a lot less dose than the other control trial without VR, 100% of whom needed sedatives. And they also experience faster recovery time after the surgery. So it is proven in many different ways, and more companies are doing this and making advances and strides in this area to deliver real patient value today using virtual reality in therapies, in even live surgery, sedative replacement, in a non-pharmacological, non-addicting, non-invasive way. That is really wonderful. And then MindVR, another company that we have been investing in since the early days. They bring virtual reality as cognitive engagement, recreational therapy into aging adult population across the US. They recently announced rolling out this wonderful service with ViveFlow to 50 veteran homes across the country. This is a way to help them combat the feeling of loneliness, isolation, reminiscence therapy, improve their mood, and even offer them a way to feel connected with their loved ones that can join into some of these incredible experiences like going to Paris or driving down Route 66 with their caregivers or family and friends that are not physically with them. And this particularly played an important role in the past 3 years of pandemics when they really suffer disproportionately from that isolation and loneliness. So I've explored a few different areas of use cases that make us really excited about continuing to advance and support and invest in this ecosystem of using XR technologies and their adjacent technologies, whether that's AI or using 5G or blockchain to enable this humanity-first future that we want to see for our children. And we are really excited to be working with partners from around the world to help them build, give them tools to build, and together realize this vision that this technology is, again, not as just a solution looking for a problem. All the technologies that we're proud about, they don't matter if we don't always keep people, our children, and the users first in delivering real-world value starting today, regardless of the pipe dream of what the metaverse in the future might look like. Starting from today, we can deliver value, and this is a very exciting journey that we'll continue to wake up every day excited about. And I hope that we find a way to connect during the show and find ways to collaborate and build this incredible future we want to see for our children. Thank you all very much.